Good day everyone. Welcome to part 2 of the multiple response tutorials. In this video, we will look at some of the multiple response issues that can arise while analyzing a data set that was gathered using the ODK program. We will utilize the Stata software today to manage the multiple response variables. The best way to start cleaning the data set is to explore it first. We will examine the data set and make a simple table to check what kind of observation, string or numeric are present, what variables are present, and how the data set is organized. Let's browse and look at the observations and variables. Multiple observations can be found in a single cell in both question 12 and 13. Remember that each cell should only contain one observation in order to conduct an accurate analysis. Let's see the frequency table. This set of responses has a slightly different problem than the one we saw in part 1. As you can see, the first response is repeated with a slight different name. For instance, the first option is labeled 1 and also 1 and comma. They must be combined because they both indicate the number 1. The second option has similar issue. However, choice 3 and 4 have only one name, so there's nothing to combine. I've already prepared the do file, so let's go through it one by one. First, we must split the option among the multiple response variables. After using the split command, use the mrtab command to sort the output of the split command. These variables from the split command are used in the mrtab, which generates additional variables for labeling our multiple choices. We can see in the variable response that mrtab produced Q121 and Q122 variables for the choice 1 and 1 in comma in the variable box. We can combine the two options in question 12, 1 and 1 in comma, using the Stata command egen. Use the command egen byte v1 or any variable name you want. I simply labeled it v1. If the variable in the variable list are not equal, this command generates an indicator variable with the value 1 and the value 0 otherwise. Now, the v1 variable is created by combining the two options Q121 and Q122 with the egen byte command. As a result, for the first option, we only have one name. I will demonstrate by browsing through the variables v1, Q121, and Q122 in the Browse window. Let's reopen the do file and recode and label v1. I record v1 as 1 for yes and 0 for no, and generate Q_1 to represent question 12 option 1. When I label them, I use the option's name, but you can also label the question name with the choice. I'm going to create a table to display the frequency in the label. The frequency of multiple response to question 12 option 1 or Q12_1 is now well known, 72.7%. The second option has a similar problem. We can see in the variable response that mrtab produce Q123 and Q124 variables for the choices 2 and comma. The V2 variable was created by combining the two options Q123 and Q124 with the egen byte command. Then I record V2 as 1 for yes and 0 for no, and generate Q12_2 to describe the second option in the question 12's choice. We won't use the egen command because the third and fourth options are free of this issue. We simply record 1 for yes and 0 for no, and generate Q12_3 for the third choice and Q12_4 for the fourth choice in question 12. When I label them, I used option name, but you can also label the question name with the choice. For reference, the do file can be found in the description box below. Before we finish, let's do some housekeeping. We will delete the variables created by the split and mrtab commands, as well as the V1 and V2 variables, because we already used them. Let's select those variables and then delete them. This can be completed with the drop command in the command box or do file. Remember that the variables with labels are being kept. We have come to the end of the session. You can either use the do file by placing your multiple answers variables or go back and review the video's steps. Keep in mind that everything seems challenging at first. I wish you well as you clean up and analyze your dataset. Have a great day.